Hello, everybody, and welcome to the top 8 of the March Chalislime Monthly. We've got 8 duelists left, and they are 8 good ones playing some very interesting decks. Some are good, some are a little bit less good. First, thank you so much to everyone who dropped by, and thank you for our patience as we worked out a couple of kinks with Challenge specifically, an online software written by rats for rats. And apologies to the 3 individuals who made X1 and bubbled. That is a terrible feeling, and I have been there before. We're going to see if we can get something for you afterwards, but for the time being, we are focused on these 8 individuals and the decks that they are playing. Ian, who went undefeated with Virtual World, post-ban of VFD, mind you. Femboy Yu-Gi-Oh! Playing Madolche, and those two are going to be our first round match that we're going to view. Space Dandy 1993, last CSM's winner on Invoked Dogmatica. Prankster on Dinosaur. Battlestorm on Phantom Knight, the other undefeated duelist. J-Teeth on Dinosaur. Helios on Dinosaur. And Dr. Kilometer on Gren Maju. So I'm very excited to show off, as I said previously, Ian's Virtual World list and Femboy Yu-Gi-Oh's Madolche one, and I gotta tell you, the lists are so cool. They are so absolutely bonkers. I don't want to give away what Ian's playing, but rest assured, it is absolutely ridiculous stuff. So I'm gonna let him know that I am ready, and then I am going to send you into it. Ugh. Ooh. 9 hours, huh? And here we go. Any second. Okay. So, as I said, Femboy Yu-Gi-Oh! Is playing Madolche, and Madolche is a deck that needs no introduction. It's been kind of scraping the edges of metagame relevance for the better part of 2 years now, and got new support in Madolche Salon. Salon is just an unbelievable piece of nonsense for the deck. It allows it to perform a second normal summon, which of course was a huge downside to Madolche, was that it is so absolutely normal summon reliant. You absolutely have to start with, like, one of 3 very specific starters or open Patetting Sessur, and Salon really resolves that. Pot of Prosperity is a second thing that is fantastic news for this archetype. You really need to find Patetting Sessur, and Pot of Prosperity all but guarantees you do. Looks like Femboy has opened with Madolche Ticket and Patetting Sessur, which means they'll be able to activate the effect of Patetting Sessur in order to get a copy of Pudding Cess from deck alongside itself, and then we will be off to the races. So the weird part about Madolche is that it is unquestionably a combo deck, right? It has a long combo setup, which is very, difficult to interact with. And then at the end of it, it ends on some very unassuming monsters, like a Link monster that does almost literally nothing, and a couple of Xyz monsters with spell speed 1 effects. You know, they don't really accomplish much, but they are very difficult to get rid of. And then on the crackback, it is so good at OTKing with Tierra Masu. The Gamma coming down for the Patetting Sessur, fantastic activation here. We're going to wait for the Angeli. The Angeli is going to get a Hoot Cake, I'd imagine. Yeah, and then Hoot Cake is going to be able to banish the Angeli to go into a copy of Messengelato. Now, unfortunately for Femboy Yu-Gi-Oh!, the playmaking power of this deck is way diminished if you don't get to start with Patetting Sessur, and that's where we are right now. Salon can maybe make up some of the difference, get a little more material on field that you would otherwise be getting via Patetting Sessur's effect. We're going to normal the second Messengelato. That's rough, buddy. Oh boy. We're going to overlay for a copy of Glass Souffle, which is critical to most of the setups. Glass Souffle is one of these unassuming cards. You can detach a material and target a monster on the field. It is unaffected. This is a quick effect. It's like Dora. And then if a Madolche card is sent to your graveyard, you can shuffle 2 cards from the graveyards back into the decks. Really good sort of DD Crow kind of effect on your opponent's turn, and a great way to set up your graveyard to be free of monsters on your own, which a lot of the Madolches require. But again, all we've ended on here is the Glass Souffle and a Promenade, not a super assuming setup, and as a result, it might be kind of difficult to walk with this one. Distant Coder, thank you for the huge host, and Datascape Capital, Zhilong, thank God that is not the name of this card. Kaloon comes down, Virtual World, still showing people it can open Kaloon in the year of our Lord 2021. It's going to be met with Promenade. Promenade is kind of a piece of negation. You can pop one of those Madolches back to hand to negate a face-up card, and we're going to target the Kaloon. This will trigger both the Salon and the ticket, which is pretty impressive. So because we have a fairy, that ticket's going to get a lot better. It's going to allow us to add a Madolche monster from our deck to our hand, and then because we have a fairy, we special summon it instead. Salon's going to set a second Promenade, and we'll finally get that Patenting Cesseur activation in. Patenting Cesseur can summon from deck a Pudding Cess, that's its usual target, because it decreases the level by 1. This level 5 monster becomes a very great piece of level 4 Xyz material. So that's the start of the Madolche player's turn, and realistically it's also the end. 2/2 the normal summon. God, must be one of those hands, huh? We'll activate Lili, that's pretty good. We're going to target the 2/2. I imagine we'll be sending a Qinglong to graveyard. There it goes, and now we're going to see the only other piece of interaction that the Madolche player has, that is the Glass Souffle. So we can Glass Souffle here, targeting herself, or really anything. Maybe the Pudding Cess, it doesn't really matter. And then target 2 of the cards in the graveyard and shuffle them back into the deck. I'd imagine you would not want to target the Chuche. I don't know if this works the way like an Avarice would work. If the Chuche moves locations, it would potentially be very bad. And we'll see what they're going to target here. Now, one thing that sucks for the Virtual World player is they don't have access to a tuner. That's pretty important for a lot of their plays. Certainly, we're going to target the Qinglong. Yeah, Qinglong and Chuche it is. Oh, it doesn't target, so it doesn't actually matter. All right, Lulu is up next, and Lulu's a fine card, but sucks when you have to be activating it on a monster. We're going to send the Qinglong again. He says, I'm going to get this resolved, all right? Do we have a top cut chart yet? We don't yet have a chart, but I have all the decks. It's 3 Dinosaur and then 1 apiece of Dolce, Invoked Dogmatica, VW, Phantom Knights, and Maju. Was not expecting these decks to be making it. How did the Dragon Maids not make it in? The Dragon Maid player got 9th. That's right, no Dragon Link. Very strange. All right, so we're going to go for ZC here, targeting the Lulu. That's going to send a Chuche to the graveyard. We still have access to the Qinglong. And even though this turn started out pretty crusty, we've gotten access to 4 different names. I mean, all we're missing at this point is the Lao Lao. And what do we have in grave? Something that gets it. All right, outcomes, Virtual World Beast, Juju. These are hard. I just don't know what any of these cards do. Now that Virtual Worlds have to dip into their pool of actually playable Synchros and Xyz, I have to relearn all of them. So this card can't be destroyed by battle or card effects as long as you have monsters in your graveyard with the same type and attribute, but different names. And then you can banish 2 from your graveyard with the same original type and attribute and send a card on the field to the graveyard. It's a nice piece of non-destruction removal. We're going to overlay for Fanfan, too. Fanfan is so good. You can detach 2 materials from this card, target 1 face-up card your opponent controls and 1 in either graveyard, and banish them both. It looks like we're going to banish the Pudding Cess. Good to get that out of rotation as early as possible. And it looks like likely what we're going to do here is just clear the opponent's board. And that's like really good, obviously, but there's got to be a little more coming than that, because Madolche can really, really pop off if it's able to get to its draw phase. This is one of those turn 3 decks, if you know what I'm saying. All right, we are going for the Juju effect here. And we're going to send the Salon to the graveyard. Going to the battle phase, and we're going for the Patenting Cesseur first. That's going to go back into the deck, and then we can walk over the Glass Souffle. We could make a Zeus, but this is only 1 material. We would have to go into Gaia Knight the Thunder Charger first. Setting one card. And just going to end phase here, not even going into Gaia Knight, into Zeus. All right, passing back to the opponent. This is no interaction. And Hootcake comes down. Hootcake's the best starter for this, especially when you've already got stuff in the graveyard. If it's something like a Chuche, I imagine we'd see it flip now. Nope, and Hootcake comes down, targeting the Glass Souffle here. This is a hard one. So many of the combos are conditional on pudding cess. Potting Cessor here is really good, but can't get pudding cess, and therefore can't make Tiramisu. It's got to get a 4, which changes to a 3, and then we can activate Angeli to get into a 4 and make Tiara. Yeah, Messengelato is good enough. So Messengelato can also get Madolche Chateau, which is not necessarily a really powerful combo tool from this position, but it's really, really good at turning off Qinglong. Getting Salon, in fact. Wow. Okay, we're going to activate Salon here. And here's the Chuche. Wow, going for the Salon over anything else. That's interesting. And the Promenade comes down, right? God, Promenade is such a good card. So this will be negated, and Ticket will trigger. And what do you know, that Potting Sister is a fairy, so we're going to be able to special summon. We could get another Messengelato here if we want. Just going for a Mangeline. Says, I don't care, I just need rank 4 materials. And this is looking like game, yeah. Shockmaster. Nope, Tiramisu. Tiramisu, one of the craziest cards ever printed. How many Madolches do we have in the grave? Just one. So we can go Tiramisu, shuffle back the Messengelatos. Or the Promenade, my god. And we can shuffle back whatever we want. I honestly would even consider leaving the Chuche. Like, what's going to happen? We'll trigger Salon here as well to get back the Promenade that we just sent. God, this is crazy! The Promenade loop is just so hard for decks to keep up with. It actually reminds me a lot of Virtual World, insofar as, like, some decks just can't deal with repeated Virtual World activations, just like some decks can't deal with setting Promenade every turn. This is still pretty difficult. I guess, yeah, okay, so our extra normal is going to be spent on Angeli. And fun fact, Tiramisu is not once per turn, so we could just activate it again. No, we're just going to go into Chocolate a la mode, which is enough to get over the Juju. Shame. Alright, this is looking pretty bad. So a lot you can do from this position. Main phase 2, you can make the link if you want. We're just making a Glass Souffle. Says, yeah, I think the only way we lose this game is if there's a Qinglong in the graveyard, and that's not going to happen on my watch. We're going to activate Glass Souffle, targeting herself. We can shuffle back like the Qinglong and one of our creatures to trigger the Chocolate a la mode. God, this card is so good! Oh, actually we can't. Chocolate a la mode needs a Pudding Cess in order to activate that effect, and our only Pudding Cess is banished. All right, 2 cards in hand. Wow, Pot of Desires is one of them. Honestly, I would probably Promenade this. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and fire that. All right, last card in hand is Lulu. You can normal summon the Lulu, I guess. I believe that is, in fact, the end of the game. All right, and we are going to game 2. And that means Prankster on Dinosaur has made it into top 4. All right, so this time Virtual World is going first. We're going to lead with a copy of Nian Yan. Then we're going to activate a ZC in our hand, targeting the Nian Yan and sending, I imagine... Let's see it. Hey, the Qinglong to grave. Okay, so what are we doing from here? Getting Lanciad? All right, Lulu targeting the Nian Yan. Master Sky asking if Madolches are easy to use or learn. They are actually very difficult, but once you know, like... It's like Burning Abyss. Like, once you get the combo lines down and know what the deck is capable of, it all just sort of clicks in your head, you know? It takes practice, certainly, but it is much easier to master than something like Virtual World. All right, so we are performing plays. Wow. Coral Dragon has made it onto the field, and I imagine will soon be leaving the field. Oh, God. Changing the ZC to 6? What the hell are you going to do with 2 6s? Excuse me? Holy shit-a-moly. Zolkin, baby! Zolkin! Alright, so we're going to set a card that's going to trigger the effect of Ultimaya Zolkin. From this, we can summon, I don't know, a Crystal Wing? Apparently nothing. Herald of Orange Light, the board plan from Femboy Yu-Gi-Oh! Worst hand trap made popular by Drytron actually has incidental synergy with the fucking fairies in Madolche. Unbelievable. Wow. And Zolkin just sent to the grave like it was a piece of garbage. Ian says, what? I'm not even mad. All right, out comes Chuche. And then we're going to go for a Lao Lao here, targeting the Chuche. Still fine, you know, still very recoverable. You know, Shen Shen Pass is also an FTK against this. I imagine. And, you know, this is the thing with Herald of Orange Light. Every time you get got by it, you go, oh my god, that's so well, it took them 2 cards to do that. So actually, it's completely fine. Now Dolce is on 3 cards in hand. What if you just go Gotham's and loop them for the rest? Alright, down comes Shen Shen. If we want, we could make a 12. I don't even know what we would make, if I'm being real. What the fuck? Excuse me? Okay, just so everyone knows, I already knew about this. This is the spice I was talking about. Ian was playing Zombie World in Virtual World. And, you know, explaining it here, you can send Necro World Banshee off of Beatrice. So against some decks that care about typing, like Dino and Dragon, your turn 1 play is unironically Beatrice Pass, and then you go Banshee Draw Phase, Zombie World. It is unbelievable. And sometimes you just draw it. And for what it's worth, Ian went 7-0. So clearly it worked out. I go to the battle phase here, gonna attack over the Nian Yan. And I imagine if you're Ian, you're like, yeah, hell yeah. Absolutely. Hit over my Nian Yan. No, don't, please. And Nian Yan gets a trigger here. And put back the Chuche. And this is it. Like, what do you do from here? This is gonna set a couple of cards, pass. So stupid. All right, we're drawing for turn here. We do still have Chuche on. Go for Qinglong. Unironically, you know, I think people come across this every time Dragon Link becomes popular again, and I'm glad that we found it out really early here, but like Zombie World is an FTK versus that deck. There's really nothing they can do. It's like Mystic Mine, but it actually does what you want. Oh, speaking of getting owned, Cosmic Cyclone targeting the Chuche, that is a rough one, buddy. We're going to chain the Chuche, I imagine to pop itself. Yeah, here we go. I don't think... Does this do what you want? No, it doesn't. What? Wait, hold up. Why? Where's Top Cut? Again, Top Cut is 3 Dino, and then 1 apiece of Invoked Dogmatica, Madolche, Grin, Maju, Phantom Knight, and Virtual World. Oh, because of Shemshen. Right. Up, Helios, what's your news? I crashed game 3 of my top 8 match. That's 1 Dino player out of contention. Oh, wow. And that means that Dr. Kilometer on Gren Maju has made it to top fucking 4. So the other match is Battlestorm on Phantom Knight versus J-Teeth on Dino. And then the last match is... Oh, and that's just finished. This is the last match. Battlestorm made it with Phantom Knight. So it's going to be Phantom Knight, Dino, Gren Maju, and the winner of this one. Wow, that's incredible. Those are 4 sweet decks. All right, so we're going for Fortune Tune here. We're going to activate Promenade. I don't know. Promenade targeting Zombie World. Put the Angeli back in hand. Okay, so we do get in with Fortune Tune. Fortune Tune is such a weird inclusion in this deck, but, you know, its inclusion makes sense. You know, you're using it to make a big-ass Zeus. Emperor Stove, the Phantom Knight player still in, is also undefeated. Right. Big-ass Zeus, let's go. And I would have a hard time seeing how Ian loses from this position. And this is just what this is just what VW might become, right? Like, big floodgate guys, decent enough monsters, recursive lines, you know? Is PK playing against Maju in semis, or can we have the best finals of all time? So, PK is about to play against Maju. Yeah, we're absolutely watching that round, by the way. Sorry to whoever wins this one. We will not be following you. Oh, God. Okay, so here's Angeli. And we're going to Zeus. It says, absolutely not. Zeus! And provided that set card isn't anything, this might be the end of the game. Yeah, it was Forbidden Droplet, and you can't send cards to the graveyard under Shen. My fucking god, I hate this! Alright, so this is the end of the game. We switch to attack position here. We can go get the Shen back, and that is just about it. And then Femboy Yu-Gi-Oh! Is going to surrender. Folks, we are going to a game 3, but make no mistake, in my opinion... How are we doing with time? Let's check that as well. Oh, 21 minutes left in round. We're completely fine. Okay, time for game 3. Femboy Yu-Gi-Oh! Unsurprisingly on the play. We are going to get... Mangeline. And we have ticket, too. Just a question of, like, how much hate Ian is packing. The frustrating part about Madolche is that it really blanks a lot of common, like, going second hate. There's a lot of really good stuff that you just can't, you know, use it with. However, there is one card that the deck does not stand up to, and that is Nibiru. Nibiruing the end board of Madolche is 1, completely viable, nothing they do negates, and 2, game-winningly strong. It just ends the game. All right, so down comes the Angeli and the Glass Souffle. This Angeli is going to turn into a Hoot Cake. And then the Hoot Cake, now that there's something in the graveyard, can banish the Angeli to go get a Messengelato. I imagine we're going to use that for Salon. We haven't actually seen a Chateau out of Femboy yet. You can make Teacher on the 5th summon. That, I just don't think that is true. Like, you can make Teacher on the 5th summon, but if you're passing on a board of Teacher, you're completely fine. Alright, Sistart. Do we have an extra normal? We haven't seen Chateau at all. I'm starting to think that Femboy is just straight up not playing it. I guess I could check. No, they are playing Chateau. Yeah. Big surprise, right? All right, we'll go for the Promenade here. And the Salon afterwards. That's an extra normal, so the Mangeline still triggers here. Petting Cessor to hand. We've already activated it once. We'll set... Oh my god. Set 5? Jesus Christ. Good luck, Ian. It's gotta be Harpy's Feather Duster. Even that doesn't do it because it can negate it with Promenade. It's gotta be 2 Harpy's Feather Dusters. Oh my god, I had Ignore Chain on, says Ian. Alright, here's Kaloon. Might just lose because of that. Oh no, is it a Nibiru in hand? Okay. Chuche is something. Lulu targeting Chuche, I mean, that's a sweet-ass start. Until you see the Cosmic. One of those two had to be Cosmic. Cosmic is so good in this matchup. And Lulu sticks in the hand. We'll normal summon a 2/2 here. Do we have a Lily? That's the only way it could work, right? Jesus Christ, not even giving them a chance to target it. Says, I've read the TCG rulings. We will be booking it before you can target it. My god, and that's gotta be it. Wow. Going for Glass Souffle here. Gonna target itself, and of course shuffle a couple of cards back as well. Because we have a fairy, we can shuffle our own to make the ticket tick. All right, and then we will trigger ticket. Yeah, and Salon, so we can get a Promenade plus a ticket monster. Oh no, we're getting Chateau. Says no, no, no. This game is ending. Getting Petting Cessor, and of course Petting Cessor, when it's summoned, will trigger. Summoning from deck another Madolche. I don't think we've seen the Pudding Cess in rotation yet, have we? Nope, there she is. Whoa. Whoa. Alright, just a matter of flipping the Chateau and playing as carefully as you can here. Gonna go for the Tiramisu. We'll trigger the effect of the Tiramisu, eating the entire board, and I think that's just lethal. Yeah, if they flip the Chateau, that's it. It's got to be strike exactly and nothing. This triggers Ticket and it triggers Salon. Very fun, very fun. Getting the second Promenade and the Ticket triggering. for a Messengelato. Messengelato can trigger... I don't even know if we have a target for Messengelato. Another Salon, maybe? Chateau. Fire it off. And that, provided that there's not a Gores in the hand, that is going to be the end of the game. Femboy Yu-Gi-Oh! Advancing over the undefeated zombie virtual world player to make it into top 4. Says, I had Nibiru too, but ignore chain killed me. And then Femboy says, my board plays around Nibiru. Like, listen, I don't care. Wow, unbelievable. And that is the last match of the top 4, so I'm gonna head right over to Challenge, make some changes, and we'll be back momentarily. Don't go anywhere. Hello, hello, hello. It is I, Joseph Rothschild, aka MBT, and guess what? It is time for the top 4 of the March Chalislime Monthly. We've got 4 very strange decks in Top Cut, and a field full of dinos, and full of Eldritch, and full of all manner of unfair bullshit. We have whittled it down to a top 4 of the undefeated Phantom Knight player who we will be watching in this round, facing off against Gren Maju. And the other top 4 match is Dino versus Madolche. I don't know how this happened. I really have no idea. But I'm happy that it did. And I'm happy that we'll be able to watch the Gren Maju gamer light him up one more time right now. Dr. Kilometer versus Battlestorm is currently in progress, and we will jump in right now. Oh, jeez. Super interesting top 4 that I know will just be whittled down to Phantom Knights versus Dinosaur. But, you know, shouts out to Dr. Kilometer. I hope that they'll be able to do it. For what it's worth, this is probably one of their best matchups. Ooh, not if they're going second, however. Phantom Knights of Tornscale has made it onto the field. That's not a fantastic starter. You really want to see Tour Guide. Phantom Knights of Tornscale can be impermed. And it looks like we don't have one. So, Dr. Kilometer's deck is really interesting for a number of reasons. Of course, it's Gren Maju. It's 60 cards, which is hilarious. But moreover, it also contains 3 D-Shifter. And if he finds D-Shifter in turn 1 on any of these games, they're just going to win out on the outset. So we shall see. Okay, so we're going to go for Tornscale into Silent Boots. That's going to link it to a Cherubini. Cherubini is the card that makes this deck tick. Obviously, you know, Phantom Knights of Rusty Bardish is insane. Cherubini is the secret OP card. We're going to use the effect to send a copy of Graph to the Graveyard. This will weasel into your normal combos if you open with Tour Guide, but if you don't, you can just do it here. Using Gren Maju to get a copy of Seer from deck, you can then link the Seer and the Cherubini into a Phantom Knights of Rusty Bardish. Does not require a Phantom Knight specific monster ever. And then we'll make it into Rusty, trigger the effect of Seer, and special summon back Cherubini. And if you thought Cherubini was busted the first time, wait till you see when it comes back. Oh, Dr. Kilometer says they're not on D-Shifter. Never mind. Alright, so we're going to activate the effect of Phantom Knights of Rusty Bardish, sending a Ragged Gloves to the graveyard to set a Shade Brigandine. Ordering for this is going to matter a lot. The Shade Brigandine can only be activated if there's no traps in the graveyard, and Phantom Knights of Ragged Glove is usually sending a trap, though not always. We're going to fire the Ragged Gloves here. We can send either a trap or maybe like an Ancient Cloak, since we don't have that in rotation. Nope, going for the Fog Blade. That'll trigger Tornscale if they so desire. Looks like they don't. We're going to Fog Blade out the Silent Boots. Now, that will definitely trigger the Tornscale. When a Phantom Knights card is banished, you can summon that sucker out. Or maybe not. Yeah, there we go. And then from here, we can do a whole lot. Overlaying is probably the right choice. Oh, Leviair. God, they're really going deep. So we can Leviair to get one of these materials back. Just keep the rotation in the graveyard instead of in the banished zone so that there's always a follow-up available. There's basically 2 different variants of the Phantom Knight deck. One that spends a lot of time popping its own Phantom Knight's Breaksword to go into the Dark Requiem Big Negator. And the other that just spams the board with Link material. And it looks like we are facing the latter. That's 3 to the grave for a 3-mat Appaloosa here. You can activate Shade Brig as well. And that's going to trigger the Stained Greaves in hand. Wow, that's a fantastic one. So we've got 2 mats here. If we go into Verte, we can end on a pretty sweet board. What the fuck? How are they overlaying? Oh, Stained Greaves is a 4. We're going into Redoer. How stupid of me. All right, we're going to go for Silent Boots here, get a Fog Blade as well. Redoer has been stellar this tournament. We've seen a little bit of Redoer in decks like this, and boy oh boy is it a house. Just a nonsense. Now we're going to set 2 and pass turn. That seems pretty good. So this is an unassuming board, but does have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces of interaction. And of course, I imagine this setup is almost specifically designed to beat this deck. You can expect that your opponent is going to have some number of kaiju, some sort of monster removal, maybe a super polymerization, and this is a hedge against those. Sending Gizmek Orochi to the graveyard, yeah, that's an effect that will be negated by Appaloosa if it ever fires off. Looks like we are going to let that trade-in resolve. Thunderbird, the get off of Redoer. And Grenmaju is maybe the best deck in the game when it comes to going second. So we'll see just what it can do with all this material. Going for a Bigfoot, thinking about this one, you probably don't want to negate it because that first effect is not a hard once per turn. But damn, it sucks when they get rewarded for it. Now we can either go to battle phase and force the Redoer or make them sit or lose their Appaloosa for nothing. However, every battle phase that you're not actively winning the game is kind of a win for Phantom Knight, right? Wow, and then special summon the Dino Wrestler Pankratops. And there's a castle in here as well. Great. So here it is. These are the blind second tools that really make this deck tick. And 5 cards out can only mean one thing. Down comes Eater of Millions. Now, this is an effect that can be negated by Appaloosa, but we'll see if she gets a chance to do so. This is a lot of attackers. So 3 cards left in hand. They're really thinking about this. Whoa, a second one? 2 Eaters. Are we going to follow this up with a 4,000 attack Manju? Yes, we are. Shit. Well, there he is. Okay, that's the board. And says, Battlestorm, do you have a Storming Mirror Force by any chance? We're going to attack into the Appaloosa. God, you kind of have to proc something here. The Redoer or a Fogblade. Either one would be fine. Fogblade gets less good if the Pankratops is on the field, so it's hard to say for sure. But the problem is now you've got 3 monsters, each of which contests the Appaloosa, right? Oh, and no response. Wow. That was interesting. No response to the Redoer? This effect does not target, so you have to respond to the activation. And we'll go to the Bigfoot. I imagine that's going to get Fogbladed. If it depends. It'll get Fogbladed if this last card protects from the Manju. We're going to go for the Graveyard effect of Gizmek Orochi. I'll give you one guess as to whether that's resolving. A huge heckin' Grenmaju. Oh, and now these are large enough that they will natively get over the Appaloosa. That's pretty funny. Gonna droplet here, sending... We could send the Fog Blade. We could send the Fog Blade and the Appaloosa. Oh, we're sending everything else. We're gonna target, what, both Eaters? Oh, all three of these. Well, that kind of sucks because this card still has enough attack. That is not an effect. It is a condition. Okay, so, like, this is horrifying if you're Battlestorm, but it also is not lethal. And every single turn that lethal does not occur, you got a shot at it, you know? A Lightning Storm here, for instance, wins the game. A Regeki wins the game. A Dragoon wins the game. We can, at end step, activate the effect of Fog Blade to bring back the Phantom Knights of Rusty Bardish. That'll trigger the Torn Scale and Grave. I mean, there's a lot you could do from this position. So now we can just get the rotation of Phantom Knight monsters going again. Any 3, which we can get off of Torn Scales by discarding a card, turns into Breaksword, which is 2 pops with Rusty Bardish's effect. We're going to use Rusty here to set a card as well. I guess we probably have a Fog Blade remaining. Yeah, that'll do it. Oh my god, they're on Phantom Knight's Sword. They are so deep on Phantom Knight's cards. It's because droplets halves first. So Manju's attack is no longer X times the banished cards. What the hell? Oh, that can't be right. That's absurd. So Rusty here pops 1, and oh my god, says, I'm going to pop the Breaksword. Yeah, I think we might be seeing the play. So the other Phantom Knight player we saw did this as well, but was not really able to do a good one. You are about to see the most powerful monster in the history of time. If you thought Gren Maju Deiza had a lot of attack, wait until you see Arc Rebellion. Gonna go for Raider's Knight. It's a 4, ranks up into a 5. And what 5 are we picking? But the largest Chungus who has ever graced the battlefield, Arc Rebellion Xyz Dragon. We can detach a material, then take everyone's attack, 8100, and I think I know exactly where it's going. All right, Eater of Millions, and that is all she wrote, I believe. Oh, we'll trigger Eater of Millions. Yeah, okay. And Dr. Kilometer goes to 0, and we go to game 2. Chat, who do you think is winning this one? All right, we're going to go for Phantom Knights of Torn Scale into an Ancient Cloak in the graveyard. That's going to trigger in the graveyard the effect of Chusinoko. And we'll go into a Cherubini. We will trigger the effect of Cherubini. We're going to send a copy of Graph to the graveyard. That'll trigger the effect of Graph and get a Seer from deck. We're doing the exact same combo we did last time. Funny thing is, I summoned a monster twice as large as the Arc Rebellion earlier this tournament. Jeez. Gren Maju can get up there. So down comes Rusty, out comes Cherubini. Rusty effect, we're going to set a copy of Brigandine and send, what, anything to the grave here? Yeah, Gloves seems alright. Ragged Gloves used to be like a laughably bad Phantom Knight, and now is just critical to so many of its combo lines. My mind's telling me PK, but my body wants Gren Maju. Yeah. In fact, 80-20 for Phantom Knights. Chat has not been wrong yet, but probably because we do these after the first game, so they have a little bit of advance notice. You know. Alright, so we're going to activate the effect of Ancient Cloak in Graveyard. That'll add from deck to hand a... Geez, you're really thinking about this. I should have done a better lead-in than A. Silent Boots. Alright, Torn Scale is going to trigger here because Phantom Knight was banished from the graveyard, so it'll be special summoned, and then we can special summon the Silent Boots as well if we want. And just like last time, I think we're likely to see a copy of Leviair here. And then we can Leviair back this copy of Ancient Cloak. Now, remember, Ancient Cloak has an on-field effect that's very important. You can target your monster to give it 800 more attack. Doo-doo! Downs the Appaloosa, and dang, that was your last attempt to Nibiru. And we'll activate Silent Boots here. I imagine getting a Fog Blade. Now, last time we had a Stained Greaves in hand. And we do not this time. Okay. So passing it back to Dr. Kilometer. This is a much easier board to break. But you're going to have to do it without any banished cards. Jesus. Lancia is just an FTK against this deck. Wow. Do have a Kaiju. Do have a Kaiju. Golden Castle. I mean, it doesn't really banish cards. We're going to get Hextrude from deck. Alright, there she is. So Hextrude can destroy a card. I guess we're probably destroying, what, the Fog Blade? What if they just chain the Fog Blade? Yeah, there it is. You gotta trade for it. Really needed that not to be a Lancia, says Dr. Kilometer, and this may be all she wrote. Tour guide off the top. Pretty good. Now, we've already gone through the BA suite, so I imagine they're only on the one set. I don't think we'll see a graph, but even getting another tour guide is powerful here. We can go for... oh, God, so much. We'll activate the effect of Rusty Bardish. That's going to get... I don't know. Another Fog Blade? Yeah. So we can go for Break Sword here. We can Break Sword the Golden Castle. We can Rusty the Hextrude. We can Break Sword. This is so good. Yeah, we're Rustying the Hextrude. Then we'll activate Break Sword, targeting itself and the Golden Castle. This is 50... It's 48... So they need to find 32. That seems pretty doable. Ragged Gloves and Ancient Cloak. There's an extra 8. If they can turn these 2/4s into a 3,000 attack monster, that's it, yeah. Alright, we're going to overlay for a Raiders Knight, number 2. Nope, just a Dark Rebellion Xyz. My god. And it goes to 35 because of... Ragged Gloves. We'll proceed to the battle phase, and a very silly lethal, but a lethal nonetheless. Get in for 27, 29, 35, and it looks like Phantom Knight will be advancing to the finals. This individual has not yet lost a match. Over 7 rounds of Swiss and 2 of Top Cut. Wow, wow, wow. unbelievable. But also fantastic finish by Dr. Kilometer. Made it to top 4 with a deck that I don't think anyone really expected to be there in Gren Maju. The only person outside of Yashan who has done well with it, apparently. Well, 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 well. It has all come down to this. 7 rounds of competition, 3 rounds of Top Cut, 9 hours, and folks, we have our finals. Femboy Yu-Gi-Oh! On Madolche versus Battlestorm, the undefeated Phantom Knight player. I am shocked. In a field full of Dragon Link, full of Dinosaur, full of Eldritch, these are the 2 decks that showed up on top. They came to beat meta, and they sure did do it. Again, want to hammer home, Battlestorm has not lost a match today. It's been a hell of a day for both of these duelists, and I could not be more excited to be casting this final. Let's head in there right now. So, obviously a lot... Ooh, I have the same guy twice. Obviously, a lot hinges on the die roll, but not as much as you would expect. Both of these decks are extremely adept at going first and second. But of course, both would like to be going first, and it looks like Femboy Yu-Gi-Oh! Will be going first. Oh my gosh, the Mangeline getting hit by the Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, but oh, displaying the lack of in-game knowledge! Petting Cessor is what you want to Ash! And it comes down, the punish in hand! Oh no, Angeli from deck! Oh god, it's a crazy opener. Oh, wow. Just open Petting Pog Champ. Going for Glass Souffle early here. Angeli firing off as well. Femboy Yu-Gi-Oh! Taking absolutely 0 chances here. Says, I am not losing to Nibiru. You cannot make me. Oh, God. Okay, so Hootcake is going to fire here. And worth noting, as Thigh-Hive is saying, both of these decks have a crippling weakness to Nibiru specifically. They are just dog shit if your opponent draws the rock. However, Femboy Yu-Gi-Oh! Has done a fantastic job of building boards that are Nibiru resilient the entire set. Battlestorm has been doing something similar, but there's really only so much you can do in Phantom Knights. Early Appaloosa is as good as it gets. Alright, Madolche Fresh Sistart out, Glass Souffle out, and this is the board we have seen Femboy Yu-Gi-Oh! Slaughtering people with all day. Glass Souffle, Sistart, Salon, Ticket, Trigger. Go ahead and get a Promenade from deck, get a Fairy from deck, smash that Mangeline 2-hand, not once per turn, normal summon, post Salon Resolution, get a Petting Cessor, pass with the ability to make Pudding Cess next turn. It's so strong! Mangeline triggers here, and I can bet you I know what we're going to get. That's a little crusty getting Petting Cessor, so I think, yeah, we're going to go ahead and get an Angeli. Petting Cessor is a lot better if you don't have a Hootcake in your graveyard. And end of chain going for the Pot of Prosperity. Why accidentally brick yourself finding a ticket or something garbage when you could Pot of Prosperity at the end of the combo and find a Lancia, a Forbidden Drop, a Called by the Grave, every single killer card to the hand, and Lancia is just unbelievably strong against Phantom Knight. Has to prevent that Torn Scales from getting out of the graveyard, has to prevent those Silent Boots from being banished and adding Fod Blades. This is, wow, just killer. Oh my gosh, I can't believe we're really watching Madolche going all the way here. So Tour Guide from the Underworld activating here, fantastic target for Promenade, but there's just so many good Promenade targets in this deck. You almost want it to resolve just because you know the end board with Lancia is going to use up enough resources that it's not as repeatable as it would be otherwise, but it won't get to a position where it can out your Glass Souffle setup. Okay, Graph has made it onto the board. Next we're going to go for Cherubini, I'd imagine. We'll activate the graveyard effect of Graph to get a Seer from deck. That's what we've been seeing Battlestorm do all day. But no, first we're going to see a Psychic Tracker. Wow, and Battlestorm is on a lot of these freebie 3s, the Kagamucha Knight, the Wielder, the Tracker, just to ensure that they have more material to hedge against something like a Promenade. All right, so we're going to go for the Graph here for a Seer. And, Of course, this seer would be going to the graveyard for the tour guide on the field, but Cherubini prevents that from happening. Cherubini now going to activate, targeting itself and sending from deck to graveyard a copy of Ancient Cloak. Ancient Cloak, much better when you can banish it from the graveyard, but under Lancia, maybe not so much. Oh, this is rough. Okay, it is Rusty Bardish time. We're going to go ahead and fire off the Rusty Bardish and the Seer. I imagine you would consider Promenade here. Maybe not here, but at resolution of this chain. No, and they're going to let it resolve. They say, send all the Phantom Knights you want. I don't care. All right, Torn Scale to the graveyard. We're going to set a copy of either Shade Brigandine or, Fogblade. Wow, and this deck just looks completely beatable under Lancia. God, what a crazy card. We've seen Lancia come in clutch all weekend, but in Top Cut specifically, it has been killer. Okay, so we do have a potential win here. PogChamp. We're going to go for a Break Sword. We'll trigger the effect of Rusty. I guess we'll target the Promenade, right? Yeah, going for the Promenade. They're thinking. Yeah, they will Promenade here. Targeting the Rusty. That's going to put the Hootcake back, which triggers Ticket and Salon. Are we going to see the special PK sauce here? There's not enough, right? The numbers just don't add up. All right, so Ticket gets to resolve to its fullest possible extent because we've got a couple of fairies here. Okay. Patetting Sessur. At resolution, Patetting will trigger. We'll get a copy of Pudding Cess from deck. I mean, these are... Wow, these are a lot... Wow, I don't know. This is a lot of numbers. All right, I have to do math here. The Pudding Cess is in the hand. That's crusty. That Mangeline looking pretty sus. I mean, looks like we're going to go Break Sword, target Break Sword, and, I don't know. Yeah, set card seems good enough. It doesn't matter. It's anything. We're going to Glass Souffle, targeting itself. Oh, wow. Oh, this is so cute. Oh. So, oh, and the Droplet comes down, says, absolutely not. No way. We're not playing this game. It's like, I'm sorry. I do lose to that. I do need all of this to work. Break Sword fires. But is that enough now? It's got half attack. Glass Souffle triggers, but the effect is negated, so we're going to summon from Graveyard the Ancient Cloak and the Silent Boots. These are now 4s, so we can overlay for a Raider's Knight. Oh, we're also going to Ancient Cloak the Bardish. Can't forget that. It's actually important. It comes up pretty frequently. We're going for Raider's Knight. Fire it off, baby. What level 5 monster do you think we're stacking on top of Raider's Knight? And Forbidden Droplet may have just won the game. Arc Rebellion is going to get to how much attack? Add them all up. 12,000! God damn! And Phantom Knight is 1 game away from winning the Chalislime Monthly. Holy God. Big number! Wow. All right, it's time for game 2, and listen, that was a funny setup. I don't think Femboy Yu-Gi-Oh! Is going to make that mistake again, you know? It's like, okay, I have to remember to put my monsters in defense position. I have to remember to be wary of Arc Rebellion. Maybe my Sistart goes to the graveyard for some reason. Wow, drawing the Petting Cessor again. Jeez. Okay, Petting Cessor triggers here. We get a Pudding Cess from deck. Oh, but this time we have learned from our mistakes. Ash Blossom, the Petting Cessor, says, no, go for it. No Pudding Cess for you, baby. All right. Oh, but Orange Light, the follow-up. Jesus Christ. Sending the Angeli to the graveyard, and then we will summon, I don't know, a Hoot Cake? Yeah, out it comes. Just skip half the combo here. Oh, shoot. I guess now that I have monsters in the graveyard, I can't do 80% of what I wanted. Orange Light. Jesus. All right, we'll go for Hoot Cake here with Glass Souffle on field. We'll put that Madolche back in the deck. Or the Herald, rather. That's the harder card to get rid of. Summon a Mess and Gelato. And now we do get the Salon. God, Orange Light is so shitty in this deck. I understand why you have to play it, and it's been crazy every time we've seen it resolve, but my god, what a dumb card. Alright, Mess and Gelato here. We're going to grab a Salon. We'll activate the Salon. And now what? I don't know. I haven't seen this Madolche player not open once all top 8. Not open nuts once all top 8. Well, you may be seeing it right now. I guess they did open nuts. They opened fucking Petting Cessor, Angeli, Herald of Orange Light. But this is not a very assuming board. And look, didn't even make the Sistart set. I'm not losing to that shit again. Come on. Alright, Petting Cessor is pretty much the only thing that rebuilds this board. So all you gotta do is prevent that from happening. Oh, no. Oh, that's not that bad. I imagine we're going to evenly matched here, but Promenade outs that pretty well. Oh, even worse. Oh, they drew Lancia again. Oh my, they have another Lancia. Oh, shit. Going for Torn Scale here. If you Promenade the Torn Scale, is the game just over? Oh, that's a weird one. Raider's Wing. Yeah, I don't know what the play is here. I can't think of anything you send that does anything in the grave under Lancia. We've got some 3s. That's pretty dope. We can go into Cherubini here. I think our only hope is, like, if Femboy Yu-Gi-Oh! Is just unfamiliar with how these cards work and fucks up the Promenade. I think any correctly played Promenade probably loses us the game. Alright, here's Beanie. We could Promenade the Beanie. That was a stream snipe test, everyone. I was just testing if Femboy Yu-Gi-Oh! Was stream sniping. No. You would never Promenade the Beanie. It sends for cost, like Dante. Alright, we'll go for the graph here. That'll get a Seer from deck. That's fine. Next we'll go for Rusty, but Rusty's way less good when you don't have extenders from hand. Just a question of if Femboy thinks that Rusty is worth a proactive Promenade. I think the answer is probably yes. Like, you can probably rest assured that this Cherubini isn't going to be able to do it on its own. So after resolution of this chain, it might be worth to Promenade. Or after activation of Rusty's effect, rather. Yeah. Says, listen, this is how I lost last time, is not respecting Rusty. That's not going to happen again. Put the Angeli back in hand. That triggers Salon. Even without ticket, this is so strong. Set another Promenade. God, the Promenade loop. I mean, I've been talking it up all weekend, but the Promenade loop is just so unbelievably good. It's so strong. Looks like we're going to set one, and even if that's a Fog Blade, I mean, that's weak as hell. Extremely weak. We can Glass Souffle here if we want. Shuffle a bunch of cards back. Now it says, forget it. There's no reason to do it. I want to keep my monster with enough material to protect itself against a Fog Blade. Alright, using the extra normal on Mangeline, that's about as good as it gets. And now it's just a hop, skip, and a jump to lethal. We're just trying to figure out how exactly we can dome our opponent in as few moves as possible. I guess we don't even have to worry about that, right? Because there's no chance there's a Nibiru in the hand. Hey, is that 2 4s? I guess it is time to activate the effect of Tiramisu. So, we're going to clear out our own graveyard here. Put the Messengelato and the Promenade back, and so we can loop them a little more. Remember, this is a non-targeting effect. We can Fog Blade here, but that's why we kept a material on that teacher. Oh, don't even need the teacher. We'll go for the Promenade. It says, I'm going to add back the Mangeline. I'll normal summon it again, idiot. Alright, and those two, goodbye. The Lancia kind of screws up some plays, but not enough to actually matter, I don't think. And what do you know? Ceylon again, another Promenade. Very cool. Oh, teacher's only monster effects. Interesting. Time for Ticketus. And Hootcake effect. Do we have the Lancia still, yeah. So that can get a Messengelato. We can go get the Chateau, and that is it, right? Messengelato for Chateau. We already have 8,000 on board. Wow, jeez. Oh, this deck looks so competent so often. The game is now done, and Femboy Yu-Gi-Oh! Is just one short game away, after flexing with Protecting Successor, from seeing a Chalislime monthly trophy. This is unbelievable. Okay, here we go. Game 3. This is just going to be, did they draw the Nibiru? I don't know. I don't know if it is. Femboy Yu-Gi-Oh! Has been playing really, really, really well around Nibiru specifically, right? Like, you've seen him end on exactly Sistart Glass Souffle more times than I can count. And that's just almost a Nibiru-proof board. So finally in this best of 3, the Phantom Knight player is going to get a crack at going first, and they type, oh no, in chat. Oh, no. Okay, they have a Lancia. Well, that's pretty good. Okay, ticket time. Does that do anything? Absolutely, yeah. It stops the Hootcake portion of the combo. Mangeline, 3 games in a row. Okay, we're going to go for Protecting Successor. That's probably fine. Let's see the Gamma or the Ash. Okay, this explains the brick. And no negation. This is... Alright, so far, this is pretty good. I think I would have held the Lancia until I saw the Hootcake, though. Hootcake doesn't banish for cost. It's a banish it and if you do. So they activate the effect, you chain Lancia, and then it just sits. Keeping the Lancia in hand here, because they couldn't make it past this position, would be really nice, for example. It does stop all the pots. That's actually a good point. Maybe they were like, you know, I don't want to have to deal with prosperity or extravagance. Might be Zeus pass. Yeah, Battlestorm actually says in chat, they play pots. This will not be Zeus pass. Glass Souffle is better for the deck than Zeus. Oh, Chocolate a la mode. Maybe it will be Zeus pass. This is it's still only a 2 activation. Yeah, wow. 2 active Zeus. Let's go. Okay, Battlestorm, do you have an out to a Zeus? That's the only thing you have to beat. Torn Scale's good. You're probably Zeus here, right? Like... Just put him on it. Yeah, that is. Oh, no way. No way it's drop. Oh, okay. Oh! Oh, no! Oh, that's so bad. Oh, Zeus again says, okay, listen, you can have the Zeus, but I'm not going to be happy about it. Oh, God. Okay, he says, no materials on this sucker. What are you going to do? This Zeus does nothing. Bonk. Okay, so we'll put a Zeus on your Zeus. I mean, if this is the whole turn, it's actually terrible, right? Oh, no. That was so cute. To just Zeus the triple tack. Angeli here. That's fantastic. Get Hoot Cake? Yeah, you'd have to. Alright, let's see that second Lancia, or we are dead. Nope. Oh my god. Oh my god. Are we really gonna lose this game? Oh man. Petting Sir for Pudding Cess. Battlestorm only at 55. Tierra Masu here.
Calgary.
Cursed Eyes, thank you for the $3. I told you, my boy. About to out this whole thing. GG's says Femboy Yu-Gi-Oh! Believes they have it. Down comes Chocolate a la mode. Oh, wow. And with the Pudding Cess attached. Oh, shuffle that sucker back in. Back in goes Angeli. This is the first time we've seen Chocolate a la mode trigger all fucking day. We're gonna summon from deck a Messengelato. Messengelato trigger, we can get Chateau, we can get Salon, we can get Ticket. It doesn't matter what we get. We already have Lethal on board. Firing off the Chateau says, I'm not playing around. Chateau, put all those back. We're triggering Chocolate a la mode again. You bet we are. Detach that sucker. Let's go get from our deck another Messengelato. I want Salon. I want Ticket. Make it happen. Oh, man. Going for Mangeline, another 4. Go to the battle phase. No Nibiru. And it looks like Madolche is going to be the March Chalislime monthly champion. Unbelievable. Wow. What a silly day. What a silly day of games. What a silly deck to take it all. But what a fantastic performance from Femboy Yu-Gi-Oh! From Battlestorm. This was their first loss all day. From all the top 8 and from everyone who played today. Unbelievable. Congratulations. Wow.